and we are excited to have this wonderful opportunity to share some media and beyond things with you. We're going to jump right into this week's Jam of the Week. It is by the Watutu Child Ministries. Here we are. Let's go.
Be exalted, O Lord, our God. Be exalted, O Lord, our God. Oh yes, you reign. Lift you up, be exalted, O Lord, our God. Be exalted, O Lord, our God. Oh yes, you reign. Be exalted, O Lord, our God. Be exalted, O Lord, our God. Oh yes, you reign. We lift you up, we lift you up, we lift you up.
Mighty Savior, faithful Jesus. Mighty,
You never fail.
Savior,
Your love endures.
faithful
You never change.
Jesus.
I live forever.
Mighty
You never fail.
Savior,
Your love endures.
faithful
You never change.
Jesus.
I live forever. We lift you up. We lift you up. We lift you up. Be exalted, O Lord, our God. Be exalted, O Lord, our God. Oh yes, you reign. Be exalted, O Lord, our God. Be exalted, O Lord, our God. Oh yes, you reign. We lift you up. We lift you up. Lift you up.
I've been listening to it for a while now, so we are really excited. And if you have a positive visual that you want to share with Purple Pinkin, please, 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 please send it to pro@gmail.com. How are you guys today? Happy Monday. It's a Monday. We love Mondays. Don't we love Mondays? We love Mondays. Completely excited about it being Wonderful Monday in May. And yesterday was such an awesome day for mothers. I had a wonderful, fantabulous day. I got the best gift I could ever receive that my kids actually really, really picked out and bought. And yeah, they're 11 and 6. So it was very, very special. And I'm wishing everyone a belated Happy Mother's Day. So that was the Jam of the Week. And once again, if you have any aspiring, positive music visuals for me, that includes motion graphics, please send them to Purple Pink Pro so that I can promote them right here on Beyond Media Live on the Blast Network. We're going to keep going through talking about media and the fact that Mother's Day was just yesterday, and I am really excited to say that we had about, I'm going to say 75 to 80 downloads of our Mother's Day material from my Selfie store. So I have some other intros and other wonderful media coming up because we have holidays coming up. We have Memorial Day. Yes. We have Memorial Day, and this is a great pre-service screen for Memorial Day. And one thing that as media professionals and media ministers we have to understand is that we have to usher in the presence of God before each service, before each meeting, regardless. That is our job, is to set the tone. And although Memorial Day is not a religious holiday, we still don't want to forget that it is a holiday. We still want to be in touch with what is going on, so we want to share those things. This is great for pre-service screens, and I say that because your pre-service is before the service starts, so it doesn't really affect the church service, but it lets you know that the church is well aware of what is going on and how much of it is going on. And it also just sets the tone, and it's something different other than, the regular stuff that you may show, for Easter just passed, highly, heavily, religious. This is general information and a great pre-service kit. And pre-service can run 15 minutes before your church service starts. That's an excellent way to incorporate media into your worship service. I encourage that you get all the media, all the talking, all of that stuff done before even praise and worship. That's my personal preference, because I know that sometimes media announcements and all that talking can really mess with the flow of service. So I would do pre-service right into a media of prayer, media screens along with someone praying live, and or just regular media motion worship. It could even be a countdown, that's a prayer. Then you go right into announcements and any other talking, and then you get into praise and worship, and then you go on with the rest of your service. So this is great for pre-service. And we cannot forget Pentecost Sunday. It's Sunday, June 4th, and we are excited about that. Pentecost Sunday is one of my favorites, actually, because the media for it is so dramatic, because it's something that dramatically happened in the Bible. So it's your one chance to really let it all hang out and let it loose. And this is a Pentecost worship opener. Selfie page in my Selfie store, and that's SELLFI.com/purplepinkin. I have countdowns, I have worship loops, I have mini sermons, worship openers, I have whole books. I have like Psalms 31 in dramatic motion graphics. So all of that is there for your download. There is no price. However, if you would like to leave a love offering, you can. If you use the promo code Facebook, your stuff is automatically free, but you can set your own price for any of these downloads. Please, if you want to use some, if you have some custom things that you need, invitations, promo videos for particular events, please send me an email. Let's get started. purplepinkpro@gmail.com. And these are excellent. to say that. Selfie, selfie, I don't know yet. So, whatever. We are going to take a little break. And after the break, we're going to dive into our communications corner. Yes, we are. After the break, we will dive into our communications corner where we're going to really get into the nitty-gritty of communicating with people. So, I'll see you after the break.
This is DJ Pastor Dre, and the Blessed Network, headquartered in Washington, D.C., USA, is coming to Jamaica Saturday, May 20th for the first on-demand Blessings Gospel Concert Series. 6 o'clock p.m. at Salem Pentecostal Church, Salem Back Street, Runaway Bay, St. Anne. Free admission with gospel recording artists The Corinth, Howard Sapp, Tanisha Toussaint, Kingsley Oganda, and so much more. Find us on Facebook at BlessedNet or visit our website at www.theblessednetworklive.com. We'll see you there.
Yes, thank you. Welcome back to Beyond Media Live with yours truly, LaShawn Janice. And we are rolling right into our communications corner. This is like one of my favorite things that I have been doing so recently. And I have been working on my communication skills. Personally, within my career, I want to move up. And I realized that I have a hard time communicating with people. I'm a great communicator to me. But what I've realized is that sometimes I say things and my delivery of things needs to really be tweaked and worked on because I'm not getting my message across. So I've been taking a lot of classes, doing lots of research, reading a lot of books, praying so heavily because I really want to get this down packed. I really don't want to be a communicator, a bad communicator. I want to be the best communicator possible. So I'm calling these new things that I'm doing the communications corner so that I can just have a niche of what exactly that I'm doing because I'm really enjoying the communications classes and sessions and research that I'm really falling into. And tonight we're going to briefly discuss understanding and communicating with different personality types. Oh, everybody says, oh, that person has an attitude or that person don't like me, when really they're just a different communicator. They're a different type of personalities. First you have to understand them and then you have to communicate effectively with different personality types. And that is so crazy. I know a lot of people, especially government employees, performance evaluations are coming up in a couple of months. And, you know, we are very concerned about our performance and how our performance has kind of made it seem like our attitude is adjusting our performance. When really we're just having a hard time communicating with different personality types. And yes, I'm speaking very personally about this because this is something that I have been corrected on. This is something that I have self-reflected and realized, you know what? I need to work on this because I'm not a mean person. I'm just very direct. And that's great to be direct in your communication. What's not good is when you're direct and you're mean and you're nasty. That's not good. So I have been learning how to communicate with tact and diplomacy and professionalism. So I'm going to give you guys some tips on this. And the first thing that we really have to understand is that we first need to listen to understand and then be understood. So in order to do that, that has everything to do with understanding the person and their personality traits. So when you know offhand, you already know, okay, this person and me, this person is very passive aggressive and I'm not. This person is very indecisive and I'm not. Or, you know, I am very direct and you can't make a decision. Those are all different personality types. That doesn't mean they're wrong and you're right and vice versa. What it means is that they're a different personality. So there's different ways in which you need to understand that person in order to effectively communicate with that person. So in communicating effectively with different personality types, there are 4 things that you may need to know. Just write this down real quick. Write this down. 4 things real quick. So the first thing is that you need to discover their intent. Some tones, some different cultures, they come off and say things and you completely think that their motivation is one thing and really that's not what they meant. So to discover their intent. Make sure, it's not malice. Make sure they are confused. Or understand where they are first. Know where they're coming from first. To even know, hey, I don't even need to have this conversation because I can discern that you're all over the place and I am not an all over the place person. So don't be all over the place. So that's basically just all of what that is. The second thing, discover what is important to them so that you can somewhat come with some common ground. Every conversation where you know that you're with someone that is a quote unquote difficult person or someone that has a different personality type, you need to understand where they're coming from, what's important to them so that you can develop some common ground so you'll know where you can come from. And the most common ground is everybody wants to come to work and do a good job. Nobody wants to come to work and not do a good job because that's going to affect how we get paid. So that is a general, pretty much around the globe, that is a common ground that you can start with. And this leads me to my third point. In order to do that, you can identify with them, relate to them, and be able to know, okay, although you may seem as though you have an attitude, I really know that you care about people and you hate repeating yourself. I understand. I don't like repeating myself either. I understand. I get it. Just those one thing, that can bring the level of the conversation way down. That can make it go from left to come back into the center and you guys get on the same game plan. And lastly, never assume that you know what they mean. You know how people talk casually like, you know what I mean? And they be like, yeah, I know. No. You may not know. So don't act like you know because that's not cool. So never assume that you know because this is a different personality type. They could be extremely sarcastic and you don't know what that means. You just think they're being them, but they're being extremely sarcastic, and which means that nothing of what they said is even relevant. They're just trying to throw you shade or, pull your leg or something like that. So first, seek to understand, then be understood. And in order to seek to be understood and to seek to understand, you have to relate to the person. Know where they're coming from. Know if they're mad, upset, angry, happy, confused, brand new to the team, feeling overwhelmed. Connect with them. Find common ground. And then go from there. One thing that I've also learned in dealing with different personality types as well as dealing with difficult people, and no, that's not the same thing. Let me first say that. It's not the same thing. It's completely different. So, in dealing with different personality types, some people, once again, like I said, that you have to relate to them and figure out where they're coming from, figure out what their intent is. Some people, they don't like to do face-to-face conversations. Some people like to do things remotely, email, keep it on black and white. Some people like to send messages. Some people like to text. All of those things. So understand that. But I will say that sometimes in dealing with difficult people, with different personalities, sometimes you need to have that face-to-face. Everything can't be said in black and white to understand the tone. So when you're dealing with someone with a different personality, they may read your email and think, wait a minute. Did she just come from me, or did he just come from me, or did they just say I wasn't doing a good job, or I did this wrong? When really what they're trying to say is, let's all work together and get it done because we feel as though such and such is overwhelmed. So make sure that you remember that little tidbit. And when I was doing my research and reading this a couple of weeks ago, and I went to a class last week about communicating with tact and diplomacy, this being personal and being transparent and finding a common ground brought up this scripture that I had to look up because I did not know where it came from. And I was just like, oh my gosh, is that in the Bible? And I'm thinking, yeah, I must be doing good. 3 John 1:13 through 14. I had much to write to you, but I would rather not write with pen and ink. I hope to see you soon and we will talk face to face. Sometimes when you have a whole lot to say, it's best to write it down. In a work setting, corporate setting, it's best to get it all out, write it all down, proofread it, come back, send it. Highly professional, completely understand that way to go. Sometimes in ministry, you have to go personal. You need to do a face to face, because there's too much to be said. And you need to have that one-on-one time, because you have built that type of communication with that person, whether they had a different personality, difficult personality or not. Sometimes personal face-to-face is best for ministry. That's just a personal opinion, and it's something that I really feel gives you brownie points and high respect when you go with a difficult situation and you go face-to-face and you try and hunker it down. Another way of communicating with different personalities is to not be so long-winded. Keep it short, sweet, to the point, and be tactful in what you're saying. Don't give a whole lot of fluff. And in doing that, you may want to use the FIR method. I have actually spoke about this a couple times on Beyond Media, and now I'm just going to really put it all out there. FIR, F-I-R-R, facts, impact, respect, response. And in doing this, it makes you think before you speak, and I have a problem with that. I'm very quick on my feet. I'm very quick on my toes when I say something, and sometimes that delivery of being that quick can come off extremely harsh and extremely degrading, when really I'm just trying to get the work done and let's go. So this method has really helped me, and I definitely want to bring up Colossians 4:6. Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person. You can't go at everybody the same way. You can't say the same things to the same people. They're not going to take it the same way. Hence, understanding the person, building up intent, understanding where they're coming from, understanding their tone, having a common ground. These are all ways in which can even out your communication and make you an effective communicator, and not someone that just yells at everybody or just complains about everything, but make you effective. And this method, the FIR method, I will say it makes you effective. It makes you think before you speak. I try to use this as much as possible in writing, at work, in ministry. I really try to exercise this, because this mouth has gotten me in a lot of trouble in work, at my son's school, socially, at church. This mouth doesn't always think before I speak, and I'm really getting better with this with lots of prayer. And the FIR stands for fact, impact, respect, response. And at first, you want to only speak facts. If you really want to get your point across, the first thing out of your mouth when addressing it needs to be facts, not feelings, not emotions, not he said this, you said, no. Straight up facts, what you know. Then